Again, Bjorn is patiently waiting for his next victim. For his next opponent. Whether it's the Terran or Protoss, we're here to find out. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Altitude, we have the Danish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. I'm going to bomb out by backing some underdogs. It'll be great. I mean, are there any underdogs here? You know, MaxPax and Clem, they're... Oh, right. Sorry, you're talking about WTL. Yeah, of course, of course. I was like, underdogs in this series? You're crazy, Bob. You're crazy. But yeah. WTL predictions are always a lot of good fun. Always good fun. And yeah, I believe World Team League starts next week. Let me just double check the calendar. I'm curious myself. I should know this. I'm going to be casting. WTL starts this Friday. Oh my god, the 29th of September, in a couple of days. WTL is upon us. I need to message Asher. I need to make sure Asher's there for it, Bobby. Oh my god. So yeah, my apologies, not next week, but this week, this weekend is gonna be the return of World Team League. Oh my god, tomorrow is the return of Kung Fu Cup. Kung Fu Cup is also upon us on Wednesday, so everything is ramping back up just in time for me to recover from my illness. Let's go. Beautiful. Just in time. Plenty of StarCraft is to be had, as always, as always. As we're getting into this, and so far it is a Rax Expand from Clem, a very economic opener. On Altitude, it makes sense. Again, the map is as large as you can get, and you do have a lot of freedom in the early game, and there's no reason not to be economic here on Altitude. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have a Gate Cyber Expand. Very safe opener from the Protoss. SCV does confirm that. And Clem, he's just making sure he gets eyes on all the pylon locations for that follow-up scout. Of course, Clem being very safe, he went for an SCV scout into a Reaper scout as well. Or into a Reaper. There are some Terran players like Cure, for example. Oh my god. It's this Reaper. He's dancing. It's avoiding that adept. But there are some Terran players like Cure, like Maru as well, who they live life on the edge and they just avoid scouts and they cut corners. But again, Clem, he's respecting MaxPax quite a bit. And ooh, something I was not expecting. This is not a Stargate opener, it's a Twilight Council. Now, the last time we casted a TvP on this map, we did see a Stargate opener. Again, just because Phoenixes, they do so well on a map like this. They have so much room to maneuver around, to harass, to take control of. But no, MaxPax is going to be a little bit more aggressive instead with this Twilight Council. We'll see how many gateways get thrown down. 2, 3, or 4. They all elicit different responses. They all lead into different things. As the first dual depths do make their way across the map, shading into the main base, they are denied entry into the main. And so far, Clem is holding on. He's getting into his 1-1-1, getting into his tank production. Oh, never mind. He's going for an add-on solve first. Going to be delaying tanks in favor of the Raven Adepts. They shade in. The Adepts do make it into the main base. They're going to get a couple of workers. They get full eyes on the production as well. And Clem is going to be a little bit aggressive. Interesting. Once these Adepts get cleaned up, they kill 3 workers. But across the map, it is not going to be a 2-gate opener. We have 1 gate in the main. We have 2 gates here in the natural, so it's going to be a 3-gate opener. This does lead into an expansion. This does grant access to a 3rd. And there we go. 3rd is on the way. But with 3 gateways, MaxPax can gain map control. He can be a little bit aggressive. He can apply pressure. He won't be looking to blink into the main base. He won't be able to reinforce across the map and be hyper aggressive, but he can again fight for map control. As the Reaper does come back in and is going to get a probe kill. As the Reaper finally is going to be shut down. MaxPax behind this, off of these 3 gateways, is going into a Robotics Bay, into Colossus production. Clem back at home, just getting into his 3-1-1 setup. Really good SimCity out of Clem. So this tells me that Clem is, you know, preparing for... I mean, he saw the third base, so he knows that it's not going to be 4-gate, but regardless, he's getting ready for Blink aggression. Really good SimCity protecting this tank. He's got his Marines in position as well. He's got a bunker in the natural. He is ready for Blink Stalkers. And there aren't any. You know, MaxPax, he's just chilling. He's chilling, working on Charge, working on Colossi, or even Disruptors. Pick your poison. There we go. Colossi are on the way. Oh no! Observer, yeah, was a little bit too adventurous. Just get taken out by those Marines. And the Stalkers of MaxPax are just going to be applying a bit of light pressure here. I mentioned earlier that MaxPax with this 3-gate opener, he has enough for map control and to contain his opponent, but not much else. And as we can see here, he's getting a Marine wherever he can. Gets eyes on the tank as he does blink back, respecting his opponent. And back at home, MaxPax is getting fully saturated on these 3 bases. We have a gateway explosion. Colossus production slowly getting underway. And Clem is just really getting into a solid setup. Once Stim kicks in, Clem can move out, so he has a pretty hefty army. He's got a tank, got a decent amount of rollers, Widow Mines as well. He's moving out across the map. Now, because of how large altitude it is, MaxPax, he has a lot of room to slow this down. He can pick away, chip away at this army. He did lose a Stalker, bit of an overextension. As Clem is headed towards the triangular third base location of MaxPax, but the Colossi have arrived. External Thermalance is not done. Despite that, here comes the Raven. We do have disables available. He's going for it. Up. He's diving on in. We do have the double disable on the Colossus. MaxPax, though, he does pull back in time. We'll save them. The army is headed towards that natural base. Big mine shots are going to be going off of the Stalkers, but the tank is going down. We do depower the Robo. Clem, he is running out of units here. He's running out of steam. What can he get done? Does force a cancel on that Dark Shrine. I think it was a Dark Shrine on that building. Oof. And Clem, he gets 3 workers. He gets 3 workers. He depowers a couple of buildings. And he does trade out with Stalkers. Wasn't a bad move, but I don't think Clem really got what he wanted out of that. Like, the Colossus, they all stand strong. The economy was left, for the most part, untouched. Clem is expanding. He's taking a third base. He was not all in by any means. But now MaxPax is looking that much more terrifying. Get 3 Colossi. That's a terrifying number. Terrifying sight for any Terran player. Now that we're up to 3 Colossi, we can work towards Disruptors. Disruptors now become a real possibility for MaxPax as he is going to try to slip into the main base, but no, the Vikings are in position. Prism is forced back. Likewise, 4th base is spotted. Clem, he knows what he wants. Scans ahead of time, spots the main army, and Clem is going to go for a jump over towards the right-hand side instead, which is spotted by these Zealots. MaxPax is aware. He wants to try to collapse on these medevacs. He's going to be forced away. At the same time, Prism tries to go back into the main, but the Vikings stand strong. They are in position. They deflect that Prism. Hey, the Raven's still alive. Forgot about you. Raven did make it out. Big mine shots are going to be going off of MaxPax. He has made his way across the map. And what do we have at home to defend? We have a couple of Widow Mines, but that's it. Clem is out of position. He was going for that triple drop. Okay, he does have enough at home. Oh, and that means he can commit to his drop. We may be forced to recall. Now we have Stalkers ready. MaxPax is going to be coming in from behind. He's going to collapse on this position, and can Clem escape? does pick up. He does get into that dead space. MaxPax trying to trap this army. I believe he doesn't have the range to focus. Yeah, to really focus him down. And we're getting back into a Dark Shrine. Oh, I didn't even notice. The Cyber Core went down. Didn't even notice. Oh wait, no, it didn't. Oh, it's right there. Okay, just back up Cyber Core, just in case. Just in case. We can get into, you know, air defense and air attack. Copium. Dark Shrine on the way in the main. Meanwhile, we have the main army pushing forward here on the left-hand side. I'm a little bit surprised that we did delay Disruptor production for a long time. MaxPax healed up to 4 Colossus before commencing Disruptors, and I'm worried for our Protoss player here. We have a lot of Vikings. A lot of Vikings are available. Clem, though, is going to back off. He's going to respect the position of MaxPax. Clem getting into his own 4th base. He is keeping up with the economy of the Protoss, which is something you don't see too often. But yeah, Clem, he's got an even worker count. He's going to be on an even base count. MaxPax trying to get into his 5th, but it's a little bit late. The prison does go down. Now, MaxPax, what he's lacking in a 4th base, sorry, what he's lacking in a 5th base, he's making up for now in robo production. He has 2 disruptors being made at a time. 2 robos, one here on the left, one on the right. He's got Blink on the way for his DTs, +2 is about to kick in. MaxPax's army is looking more and more terrifying as time goes on. Can he take a fight? God, some big EMPs. 1 Colossus goes down almost instantly. Decent Novas. Shave off a couple of units here and there. But another Colossus goes down. Again, these Vikings, they're putting in a lot of work. Only 1 Colossus remains. That's why now it all becomes about those disruptors. Look, oh no! Oh, some friendly fire. A little bit of miscontrol there from MaxPax. Firing off the wrong Nova. Regardless, he does force the army back. And now MaxPax is on the hunt. Do you have a singular drop head towards the main? At the same time, they'll say, catch some reinforcements. Nova goes off. Good trades from MaxPax. Nova zoning back the army. The final Colossus goes down. Suddenly we have a lot less splash damage available. But enough to zone Clem back. He's working on a 5th base, now being landed on location. Mine drop comes in. Last few don't commit to the mines. Only 1 probe goes down. MaxPax, it feels like he's playing with fire, not gonna lie. Oof. We finally do get a good connection. Good EMP behind this fusion core is on the way for Liberator range. Do you see a secondary army? Clem is coming in from behind. 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptors go down. Big pickoffs. Clem, he pounces on the army, and MaxPax, he did overextend. He loses everything. GG gets called. And Clem takes game number 1. GG. And MaxPax, he was keeping up for the most part. Again, his economy wasn't ideal, unfortunately. But regardless, Clem was able to just surround said army coming from behind. That's the power of altitude. The map is very wide open, especially in the center of the map, as we saw. And as a result, you're very prone to these surrounds, to these engagements. You have to take care, otherwise, as we saw, you can suddenly find yourself between 2 Terran armies. And really good positioning out of Clem. That was the game-winning move. And yeah, really well done by our Terran player. MaxPax, I'm sure, will have a bit of an easier time on potentially a smaller map like this, like Greswan. I say smaller map. Gressvan is a large map, smaller than Altitude, but large nonetheless. But the difference is that Gressvan has a lot of choke points, has a lot of points of elevation. It is a lot more difficult to get surrounded on Gressvan the same way that you would on Altitude. So, we'll see. We'll see how this does turn out as we're loading in the game número 2. And here we go, we're getting into this, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Gressvan, we have the Danish Protoss, representing Storm Gaming down in this series, but not out. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And can we stop the mirror matchup finals? Can we stop it? MaxPax needs your energy here and now to fight back, to force the ace match, to potentially stop the TvT finals. Or is Terran all we need in the finals in this tournament? Oh boy, some big names have been taken out today. You know, we had Hero, we had Solar. But alas, they fell like flies. Now it's down to 3 players. And these two fighting for the chance at facing off against Beyond. Can they pull it off? Probe is moving out across the map. We do have a Rax Expand setup here, very economic once again from Clem. As to be expected. Nothing too crazy, nothing overly aggressive. Probe is going to confirm this as it does slip in to the main. Sees a Rax. Sees the SCVs coming down to expand as well, and MaxPax is going to be a nuisance, is going to try and delay that expansion for as long as he can. Forces out a second SCV. And that was a pretty big delay. Clem, he went up to 500 minerals before he could throw down that CC. So very nicely done, very good annoyance out of MaxPax. Back at home, just going for his Gate Cyber into expansion. Very standard opener here from our Protoss player. Nothing too major, just a delay on the CC for Clem. As he gets into his factory. Important to point out that despite the fact that we are going for a Rax expand, this is not going to be a 3 Rax follow-up. Is it going to be a little bit more standard here? As MaxPax needs to get an eye on this. Ideally, he wants to get a read on exactly the setup, the production setup of his opponent. We don't see 3 Raxes too often anymore, but there's still a possibility. 2-on-1s as well. They have become a little bit more popular than they once were in this matchup. Good at stutter stepping there from those Marines. Yidap tries to shade in, but no, it is going to be denied. Ooh, does not get the SCV. Oh my god, that was so close. Down to 1 HP. The SCV does survive. Good grenade. Good reaction there from Clem. Looking at the vision, did MaxPax see the factory? He did not see the factory, did not see the starport, so is in the dark as to what's going on. And MaxPax is switching it up. To wind it back a little bit, to remind you, in game 1, MaxPax did go for a Twilight Council into 3-gate Blink opener. This time, Stargate into Phoenixes. It's going to be a Stargate opener instead. A lot more meta, a lot more safe and standard play out of MaxPax. This is the beginnings of Phoenix Colossus. The Phoenixes, they, just like how Blink Stalkers grant you map control and they shut down drops, likewise, that is the job here of these Phoenixes. They shut down drops and, you know, they contain your opponent, ideally on 2 bases. Clem hasn't seen the tech yet, but he's about to. As Reaper does dive in and does spot both Phoenixes. Now he's fully aware of what is going on. Back at home, he's getting ready for it. We already have a Viking, we have a Cyclone on the way. Clem just preparing himself. waiting for those Phoenixes to reveal, and it looks like they shut down the Hellion out on the map. Again, just denying any kind of vision from Clem. As MaxPax is working towards his robo, should be going for a safety immortal straight into the bay, into those Colossi. Yeah, so far again, MaxPax doing a great job at containing his opponents. Likewise, Clem is just building himself up. We've got, of course, Cyclones, a tank count slowly getting higher as well. We're continuing Viking production, which is an interesting maneuver here from Clem. A Viking count going very high will help against all things Protoss, against not just these Phoenixes, but also against the eventual Colossus as well. We're building up towards 2 Immortals. Here comes that army. Again, thankfully, MaxPax didn't rush into Colossus, or he didn't, I should say, neglect his immortal production. And he's actually going to... I love this! Okay, it looks like MaxPax has identified, of course, that we are continuing Viking production, and he's not going Colossus, he's going Disruptor instead. Do love to see it. As Clem is moving out across the map, he's throwing down additional Raxes behind this. Is looking very committed from our Terran player. No third CC. Ooh, as the Phoenixes do catch some reinforcements, they do slow Clem down. Clem even turning back around, chasing these Phoenixes. Ay. Looks like he has decided that this all-in is not going to work out. He does back up. And in the process, he's going to lose a lot of these SCVs. Oh my god. 7 SCVs go down. The Vikings, they get a couple of Phoenixes. So, it was not a free trade here for MaxPax. Clem are going to be rotating back around. At least he has stopped Viking production. But again, here comes the army. Here comes the first Nova. Up! Ooh, good connection on the Marines. A tank already goes down. Yeah, and these Immortals, they're just going to pack such a massive punch here to this army. Tanks are sieging. Decent volleys do go off. But Clem not within range with the shield batteries. As the Phoenixes once again are looking for reinforcements. Can they get a tank? No! They do get on top of the tank. Oh, and it will go down. A massive pickoff. Clem, it feels like he's bleeding out a little bit too much. So the Novas will not connect. Oh my god, barely out of range of that tank. Clem slowly pushing forward. Again, he is very all-in with this. He does not have a third CC. Vikings do land. Up. Decent split against that Nova. Another tank, sorry, another Immortal goes down. Clem, he's gaining ground. He's within range of this third base, and the third is going to fall. A solid pickoff, but again, Clem is all in. He has to keep on pushing. He has to break the natural, not just the third. The third is not good enough. And there it is. The third base is now thrown down. Clem looks like he's content with the damage that he's done. He's either content or he recognizes that he can't quite get any more. So he is transitioning. Is working towards that third base. Liberators are on the way, and Clem is going to back off. Clem, he's already got eyes on the new third base. I guess the otherwise would have been fourth. He's aware that there's still a lot of pressure on Clem to get damage done. He's still behind, far behind in the economy. Oh, Zealot Rambai is coming in, and Clem does not have a lot at home to defend. He's working his way across the map. Solid repair on that bunker. Clem will hold. Meanwhile, he makes his way across the map. Nova does not quite connect. Liberators have arrived. Clem trying to leapfrog his way forward into this new third. The Phoenix count was reset. Without Phoenixes, these Liberators, yeah, they can go ham, and this base has to be given up. But it's okay, MaxPax, he's double expanding. He's transferring his workers over towards that triangular third base once again, but Clem is not done. He's not slowing down. No, as they take down, oh god, they take down the tank. Oof. They take down the tank. Another Zealot Rambai gets caught by reinforcements. Clem taking his third. Oh, can he actually take down the robo? The base, sorry? Yeah, he is within range. We have reinforcements head towards the fourth base here of MaxPax. Clem trying to pull MaxPax apart. This army, though, is getting pretty large. A lot of Archons, a lot of Zealots. Clem, it looks like he's getting ready for a surround. Yeah, he wants to collapse on this army. And here we go, MaxPax. He's pulling the trigger. Liberators, they were unsieged, and yeah, we do see Clem getting completely surrounded. The tanks go down at the same time, though. He has another army, and he will take down the fourth base. We have a recall. Can he recall in time? Up. Oof, he will, but only Zealots. The Zealots are going to get cleaned up. The base falls. Clem, though, I feel like he has to get the hell out of here. Oh, decent Novas. Sorry, decent Widowmines. As they all go down. Good target firing on that last disruptor. Quick moves out of Clem. And now he's found himself in a pretty good position. He's ahead economically. He's on par when it comes to bases. There's always a better thing for the Terran. He's on an even worker count, even a greater worker count. Bearing in mind that mules also come into play. The pressure was on Clem, and he's done so much with it. He still has to respect this army, but there's only one disruptor. There is only one disruptor left for MaxPax. He's relying so heavily here on these Archons. So they are gaining ground. Zealot Rambai comes into that third base. Do you have ghosts? Up! Nova goes off, doesn't quite connect. Clemmy's up against the wall. That one disruptor, he wants it. Clemmy wants that disruptor. Sorry, MaxPax is up against the wall. He's gonna have to back off, and there's so much pressure on him to keep this base alive. Up! Oh, the disruptor does get targeted down. No more splash damage available here for MaxPax. He's just now rebuilding that robotics bay. He got taken out earlier by those tanks. Can Clem break this position? Can he pull this off? At the same time, we do have a War Prism heading into the main base. Not much in the main to defend. We've seen these Zealot drops end the game before. Could it do it again? Storm isn't done, by the way. We have High Tempo, but no Storms. So we do go for a massive warp into the main. And Clem is committed. He's going to go in. Yeah, the base is forfeit. Fourth is going to go down at the same time. Yeah, Clem, he's sending his army back home. He knows that he has to deal with this. He knows he has to take it seriously. Oh, the Ghost Academy. Zealots even drop into the third. But the reinforcements arrive. And the Zealots are being cleaned up. Can we save the Ghost Academy? We will save it. As these Zealots have done so much for MaxPax. They've bought him so much breathing room. Now he's getting back into Disruptors, into Colossi, fourth base. If it wasn't for those Zealots, and Clem may have been able to break MaxPax then and there. On top of that, bearing in mind, Storm is done. Storm is now done, and these High Templar, they are ready with 1 Storm each. Soon to be 2 Storms each. Now, Clem is ahead in supply, and there's a world where if he lands the most perfect EMPs, he can take a fight. Oof. Storm won't quite connect. Does land a Storm here on some of these Ghosts. There are 2 Storms left. Zoning Storm, not ideal. And here we go, we're going to engage. We have run out of Storms. And Clem is just stimming on forward. Big EMPs on the Archons as well. Overcharge trying to keep this army alive. But there's just so much Terran. The last Nova goes off. Overcharge runs out. And Clem from here, he can go straight for this Nexus. Honestly, he can get whatever he wants. Nexus goes down. Oh my god. Big Storm on the army. But it's not enough. GG gets called, and Clem will take the series at 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Very nicely done here by Clem. So aggressive. Again, he did go for a 2-base all-in initially, and it looked like MaxPax, he was going for all the right calls. Remember, he went for an Immortal heavy composition. He was going into Disruptors instead of Colossus because of how many Vikings there were. He was slowing down the army, but Clem was able to eventually work his way through, break the third over and over and over again, get into a third of his own, and yeah, really good positional play out of Clem. Very nicely done. GG.